Now turn to part 3. You will hear 3 different talks or lectures. In each talk or lecture, there are 5 questions. For each question, choose the correct answer, A, B, C, or D. You will hear the talks or lectures only once. Now, open your question paper and look at talk or lecture 1. You now have 30 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now, we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
You will hear an introduction about features of undergraduate study in the UK. If you want to take an undergraduate course of study, you require a letter of recommendation from your principal and copies of your school records and exam results. You must, of course, demonstrate ability to communicate effectively in English. Different majors require different abilities in English. Undergraduate courses in science often require you to do a foundation year before you start the course, so that you achieve the requisite knowledge before you begin the courses. Degrees generally last 3 years, though the first year doesn't count towards your final marks. Application is always via UCAS, an organisation that handles all undergraduate students. Postgraduate application is via direct application to universities. They will require a minimum pass in your degree, certainly above average, and as with undergraduate courses, require a minimum level in your English ability. Most master's courses take 1 year, but some take 2, so be sure to take this into account when choosing. There are 2 systems of ranking, for universities' overall achievement and for each of their separate departments. Other kinds of information are available, like graduate employment statistics. Generally, British universities are generally respected globally, and there is an international ranking system that lists all the top universities in the world for you to check where your university places.
Now, open your question paper and look at talk or lecture 2. You now have 30 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now, we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Listen to a talk given on a tour of a factory where clothing materials are made.
Man-made fibers have been used to make clothing for only a little over a century, but their use is quite widespread nowadays. Rayon, the first man-made fiber commercially produced in the United States, appeared in 1910. In 1939, nylon, the first chemically synthesized fiber, was first produced in this country on a commercial basis. Since that time, the number of man-made fibers has expanded to include more than 20 types. Although the list of man-made clothing fibers is long, rayon remains one of the most popular of all time, and that is why we continue to produce it in such great quantities here. Rayon is made of cellulose, a naturally occurring substance found in cotton and in certain vegetables, like celery of all things. The cellulose in rayon has been recycled and treated to make it a usable fiber for clothing. One of the reasons rayon is so popular for clothing is that it is soft and comfortable to wear. Most rayon washes well, too, although it does shrink when it is washed in hot water. The biggest problem with rayon is that it tends to fade in sunlight. It wouldn't be a good idea to leave a red rayon dress to dry in a sunny window. If you did that for very long, you might come back to a pink dress. If you'll just step this way, I'd like to show you our rayon production room.
Now, open your question paper and look at talk or lecture 3. You now have 30 seconds to look through the questions and the options in each question. Now, we are ready to start. Listen carefully.
Listen to a talk by a librarian.
Hello and welcome to the library. I'm Ms. Martin, the assistant librarian, and this is the library orientation tour for new graduate students in the business department. If you are not a newly admitted graduate student or your major is not business, then you are in the wrong place. Now let's get started. I'm sure you understand that as graduate students, you'll be required to do a tremendous amount of research. Here at the library, we try to make this process as easy as possible for you. The library is open for extensive hours, from 7 a.m. until midnight 7 days a week, so that you'll have access to library research facilities almost any time that you want. During final exam week, the library is open 24 hours a day, and there are library staff members available to help you whenever the library is open. During this tour, we will be concentrating on 2 areas of the library. The first area is the computerized search facilities, which are located on the 2nd floor of the library. On the computer systems located in this area, you can conduct computer searches for books as well as articles in magazines, newspapers, and journals. On the floor above the computer area are reference materials devoted specifically to business. In this area, you can find references for books and periodicals related to business and annual reports on major corporations. Now that we have completed this little introduction, we're ready to start the tour. Please follow me.
This is the end of part 3. You have 5 minutes to check your answer and transfer your answers onto the answer sheet.